Singapore will update the nation's population strategies as caregiving needs intensify. And more Singaporeans face the dual pressures of raising young children while caring for the elderly at the same time. Now, this comes as the country faces a declining total fertility rate, as well as an ageing population. The Prime Minister's office says that it will do more to harness longevity as a strength, so Singaporeans can reap the benefits of a longer and healthier life. Foreign worker and immigration flows will be managed to ensure that these translate into tangible benefits for Singaporeans too. It will also look at ways to extend more help to parents caring for their infants and help them better manage their work and family commitments. Efforts to build a society that supports families will be strengthened as well.
And for a close look, we're joined by Pauline Strawn, Professor of Sociology at the Singapore Management University. She's also Director of the Centre for Research on Successful Ageing. Professor Strawn, government expenditure on healthcare infrastructure, that's set to rise with, as we keep mentioning this, an ageing population. Is there a way to turn this necessity, having to manage it, into a virtue, an opportunity for developing a so-called longevity economy?
Well, I think that it's wonderful we're an aging population because it means that we're living longer and we're not dying off, right? But, there are a couple of things that we should be mindful of, though. While we are living longer, so average life expectancy is about 83 years, we are losing about 10 years of that. The health-adjusted life expectancy is only at about 72. So this means that if we want to fully leverage extended life expectancy, we really have to work a lot harder at maintaining good health as we cross the post-65 barrier, right? So that's one. The second, I think we have not really seriously, think about how to receive, an aging population. The population pyramid is so different now, right? If we retire at 65 and if we keep well, it means that there is about an average of 20 years, right, post-retirement. What are we going to do with Singaporeans in this age group? Surely, there's so much more we can, make use of them to improve on social capital and in the communities, for example.
Improving on your health span, it's important as well. Let's switch to talking about this issue of the fertility rate in Singapore, Professor Strawn, because when it comes to families, the government has tried so many strategies to actually solve what's at the root of the low fertility rates. What does it need to do that it hasn't already done?
I think that, we are no different from other developed economies, right? There are so many other challenges to contest for young adults' attention. So Singaporeans continue to valorize family formation, and that's good news. I think we have one of the strongest safety nets in the world in terms of our pro-family policies. But moving forward, I think probably two areas that we want to start to pay more attention to. The first is really address the concerns. Why is it so challenging to raise a child in Singapore, right? It's not just about dollars and cents. We're talking about the expectations of parenthood and the expectations of child. Parents have consistently complained that it is a very competitive environment when, to raise children, to make sure that we do right by our kids. So we know that there is a problem. We know that we are too competitive, but we need to sit down and address this as a nation, right? And to have many, many more pathways to success so that when you parent a child, you don't feel like you're bringing this young life into the world and into a pathway of hardship. So that's one. The second area we have been working very hard towards is to try to create an environment where young adults in particular are able to balance, right, commitment to their careers, to paid work, and commitment to parenthood. I think COVID-19 taught us that we can work anywhere and everywhere. So I think that, we are seeing some headways, some gains in the work-life balance, on the work-life balance platform. So I hope we continue to leverage this and allow parents and those with caregiving responsibilities to their older, to their aging family members as well, that flexibility to be able to honor both private commitments as well as commitments to their career.
Professor Strawn, you mentioned Singapore's strength in terms of its pro-family policies. Is there ever a danger, you feel, that for those Singaporeans, like myself as an example, where we do not fall under the group which benefits, obviously, from these policies that are pro-family, pro-marriage, pro-children, in a marriage that involves men and women, the idea that perhaps individuals like myself might feel we do not share in the Singapore identity. Is there ever a danger of that when we are so pro-family here?
I am so glad you raised that question, and you are spot on. If you look at our population demographics, right, the bulk of our 30 and under are single, 80%. Those who are between 30 to 34, again, another big chunk of about 40% or so are single. So either, whether you're single by choice or single by circumstance, I do think that moving forward, Singapore needs to look at the aspirations of our single citizens and, make sure that the message sent is very, very clear that their well-being and their needs are equally important. I think this is an area that we have neglected. I mean, we've looked at singles in that age group, with the attention always on what can we do to help you, find a life partner and to grow children. But I think moving forward, we also need to look at, regardless of marital status, what do singles need from us? How can we build a culture, an infrastructure that will support their aspirations and make them feel, part of that Singapore story, right? That's very important. I think that moving forward, we need to embrace different types of family that, Singapore will be home to, right? Whether they are singles in single households, or whether they are married with children, or whether they are single parents with children, whatever the form and substance, we need to learn how to embrace this diversity, because when we do, we would have arrived and we would be stronger together.
Thanks so much for joining us this evening, Professor Pauline Strawn from the Singapore Management University. Thanks for your insights.
Thank you.